Hi guys, Konstantin here from CGC, and today we're gonna do a video about those who wish to upgrade their system from a Alder Lake series CPU to a Raptor Lake series CPU, and that's at the end of Q1 2023. Now there's lots of videos about this. I've watched a few myself in preparation for mine, and everybody was recommending. Everybody was saying that if you own a 12900K, for example, which I do, and you want to upgrade to a 13900K, it's not worth it. Well, that was true, but that was true when the 13 series was launched, which is somewhere around 2022. I think it's, I don't know, probably towards the end of 2022, I believe. Anyways, that might have been the case because obviously the prices for the new Raptor Lake series were quite high. The prices for Alder Lake were high as well, and I could understand people that said that. But now it's, as I said, end of Q1 2023, and I'm asking myself the same question because I've actually did do an upgrade from a 12 series to a 13 series, so from Alder Lake to Raptor Lake. And I've asked myself the same question. I decided to do a video about it because I think it's going to be useful to you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's useful and why I think it's worth upgrading. Well, first of all, in terms of pricing, so pricing for the 13 series from Intel, aka Raptor Lake, has actually gone down now because AMD has released the 7000 series and they have released the 3D V-Cache CPUs as well, which sort of like are very good contenders for Intel and managed to beat Intel in a lot of benchmarks. So with that being said, obviously Intel is trying to maintain the market that already has. So what they've done is they've cut the prices down on the 13 series, which makes it a bit more appealing. Now the 12 series are on its way out. So the Alder Lake is basically on its way out. It's because it's a 2-year-old generational CPU right now. So when I say on its way out, I mean it's not going to be available in stores anytime soon. You can still find it right now with some pretty hefty discounts, but it's not going to be available for long because of those discounts. Now pricing is still good if you want to sell it secondhand, because obviously I checked because I'm going to sell mine secondhand. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this one. So because the prices have gone down on the 13 series and Alder Lake pricing is still competitive and all right, those who wish to upgrade by just flipping the CPU, so to speak, so get the 13 series, replace it in your Z690 motherboard or whatever motherboard you've got, and sell the 12 series, you're looking at a 200 and something pound up to 300 pound just price difference if you're selling the old one and buying a new one, which I don't think it's not a vast amount of money. It is a fair bit. It's the price of a mid-range CPU, but is the performance gain worth it? This is what we're going to discuss about right now, and this is what I'm going to do this video for. Is the price difference worth it? Is it worth upgrading? Now I think it is. I'm gonna try to show it with some data, and I'm gonna leave it up to you if you want to follow the same path. So what I've actually done is I did not buy a regular 3900K. Sorry, I went and bought a 3900KS, which is the special edition, which is the one that's due to compete against the X3D CPUs from AMD, and I think and at the moment is the latest Raptor Lake CPU, the latest CPU that was released from Raptor Lake series. There are some rumors that they might do a refresh, a Raptor Lake refresh, but I haven't heard anything about it. And Meteor Lake is basically a couple of months away, because by the end of 2023, so quarter 4 2023, Intel will release Meteor Lake, the Meteor Lake generation of CPUs, which is a different architecture, a different socket. So your current socket from your current motherboard will not work anymore for the new CPU. So yeah, this is another reason why, the second reason why I would upgrade is my current motherboard, which is the Z690. Is pretty much at the end of its life. It won't support any other generations of CPU apart from the Alder Lake and the Raptor Lake. So after being an early adopter, so I've purchased it at the end of 2021 when it was actually released, so on launch day. So I've had it for about so 2021, 22, so about 2 years and two and a bit years now. Is it? Yeah, so about 2 years now. It's pretty much this is the cycle in which Intel operates, so they're not going to release anything for this motherboard, which is a very good solid motherboard, by the way. Yeah, again, another reason for me to upgrade is because I want more life out of it and out of the bits that are connected to the motherboard and out of my computer. So I've decided to do just a CPU refresh. A third reason for which you guys might want to upgrade, and I'm talking about those just like me that adopted the Alder Lake series on release or early, is RAM prices have gone down seriously. So when I bought my Intel computer, which had a Z690 motherboard, a 1200K CPU, and 32 gigs of DDR5. Everything was absolutely expensive because it was a new platform. It's the first platform that supported DDR5. Obviously, we all know how expensive DDR5 was when it was released. So the best solution, RAM solution I could find for myself, was still expensive, but was not as fast as what's currently on the market. And as we know, RAM prices have seriously plunged, so they've gone seriously down because the RAM demand is small. It's not much at the moment. It's decreasing, and because of availability and it's pretty much getting out there in the market. So RAM prices have gone down, which means for not so much money, so for not a massive investment, you can buy either higher quality, higher speed DDR5 sticks, or higher capacity DDR5 sticks, because higher capacity has become cheaper as well. So this is another reason for upgrade for you guys. For me, I don't need it. But yeah, so when I purchased the RAM on it, it wasn't the fastest RAM. It was a 4800 megahertz RAM, so it wasn't fast. It was like pretty much the slowest DDR5 out there. It wasn't really good. It was brand new, and again, almost 2 years down the road, yeah, DDR5s are really cheap, so I could easily flip the RAM as well. So sell the RAM for a bit of money, not too much, but just put, I don't know, about 150 quid more, and you can get better RAM. And as I said, you can either get 42 gig higher speeds, like, I don't know, I would get at least 7200 megahertz right now because it's not super expensive, or I can get 64 gig and pretty much same speed, even slightly faster. But anyways, that's up to you guys. So all I'm saying is, if you have a Z690 platform and you want to upgrade, pretty much now it's the time. You do have a couple of months window until the new series gets launched from Intel, as I said, and at that point it really isn't worth it. I would just sell the whole lot and just go Meteor Lake. So I would sell the motherboard, CPU and RAM, and just go Meteor Lake series, because as I said, it's going to be a brand new socket as well. I forgot the name. I think it's 18 something. So currently 1700 the socket, which is equal to the number of pins, and I think the next one is 1827 or something like that. I might be wrong. I'm gonna correct myself when I edit this video. Now we've digressed a little bit. So the 13900KS, now obviously it is faster than the 12900K. It will be better in gaming, it will be better in productivity. But what I was looking at is, I was looking at justifying I would say to myself and to whoever's out there, that it actually is worth upgrading your computer right now. If you own a Z690, I would say if you're buying a new computer and you want to go Intel series, yeah, this is the latest processor you can buy. But as I said, if you're upgrading, this is not such a bad idea as well, and it's not going to cost you too much. As I said, a minimum CPU upgrade will bring you a lot of performance, like I'm going to show in my videos, and a CPU plus RAM upgrade will give you a lot more performance, and it will extend the lifespan of your computer to at least 2 to 3 more years if you want to wait on the Meteor Lake. This is an extra topic. I'm going to digress again, but I just need to talk about it because I don't do too many videos because I don't have too much time. So Meteor Lake from Intel is going to be a brand new architecture. Now, unfortunately, they do promise IPC improvements. They do promise better performance as they normally do. But what we do know is, and I think, well, I'm pretty certain is, the core count number from Meteor Lake is actually going to be smaller than the core count number from the current generation Raptor Lake. So at this moment in time, the Raptor Lake, which has the highest core count of the LGAs at the moment between the Alder Lake and the Raptor Lake, so it has still, so for the 12900 series compared to 13900 series, it has the same amount of P cores, which is 8 cores, but in terms of E cores, the 12900 has 8 cores, and the 13900 has 16 cores. So yeah, I'm gonna go for the technical details in just a moment, but you do get a hefty number of cores with this bad boy right here. So you get 24 physical cores, 32 threads. I think I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. So and again, Meteor Lake is going to have less cores. Now, what does that mean? They better be super performant. Otherwise, on multi-core performance, you might actually notice that the latest Raptor, the Raptor Lake series will probably be better on multi-threaded tasks than the next Meteor Lake series, better or equal, if not, yeah. Just because the new generation from Intel won't have as many cores. The newer generation will be probably most suitable for laptops and stuff like that, from what I'm understanding. It's just because I think they, I don't know, it's either the architecture or the technology or something like that. They just didn't manage to launch as many cores as they wished on it. By having less cores, that definitely means that you're going to lose something. My best guess is you're going to lose on performance on multi-threaded tasks. It might have an impact on gaming as well, on games that require a lot of CPU power, like RTS games and stuff like that, and pretty much a lot of games that require a lot of AI. So I don't know, Ashes of Singularity, stuff like that kind of games, or any modern game that will require CPU and a lot of cores, you might suffer on it with Meteor Lake. So this is like a final reason why I would consider upgrading my Z690 CPU, Z690 motherboard or computer, let's say, with a Raptor Lake series, because I want to be able to have a good CPU, not feel the need to upgrade to Meteor Lake and wait for actually the next generation, which I think it's Arrow Lake, which Arrow Lake will promise to restore the high number of cores Intel has been doing lately, and performance as well. So yeah, personally, I'm gonna skip Meteor Lake. I'm gonna go straight to Arrow Lake, and for this I bought this 13900K. Yes, so this is the final reason for which I've bought it. Now to go through technical specs of this bad boy right here compared to 12900K. So it currently, I'm just gonna read it out a little bit, not gonna go too much into the details. So as I said, you've got total cores of 24 versus 16. You've got, as I said, 8 P cores, 16 E cores compared to 8 and 8. Total number of threads 32 to 24. Now because it's a KS, one of the things I wanted to get it is it can actually boost up to 6 gigahertz. I've never had a CPU that boosts up to 6 gigahertz. 6 is just one of my favorite numbers, so I just went for this one. Now the previous one boosted up to 5.2 gigahertz. So you get a massive increase in boost frequency. Base frequency is slightly lower. Another thing that I've where is it? 14 meg. So where's the cache? Right. Another thing that I've purchased it for is the cache memory. I'm gonna tell you why at the end, but it has 46 meg of cache on in total, and compared to 30 meg of cache on the 12 series, and level 2 cache has been increased to 32 meg compared to, what does it say there, 14 meg. So it has more than double the cache that the previous series had. This is one of the reasons why it is so much more performant. Now, with this being said, for me it's definitely worth getting it, because I get more cash, which helps me out in my daily operations with this computer. Now let's go for some more bits. It says that this one is actually, it has the same, it has pretty much similar turbo power, 253 watts compared to 240 watts, and base power 150 compared to 125. So it does use a bit more power, which I've noticed as well. I've already benchmarked it. I've noticed that when it gets put on multi-threaded workloads, it does draw a bit more power and it does get a bit hotter. But surprisingly, threads on running applications that don't require all of its cores, so single-threaded applications. On single-threaded applications, I've actually noticed that this bad boy here runs cooler than my 12900 series. I don't know, it might be maybe because my 12900K might have just been, you know, the paste might have dried out and the cooling solution, you know, it might be that 12900, my 12900K would have probably run for a lot longer than this one, so it might be a bit warmer. But yeah, this one runs cooler as well for the same tasks, but as I say, idle tasks and stuff like that, small tasks that don't require a lot of CPU usage, this actually runs a bit cooler. But again, it might be that it's just, I've just replaced the thermal paste on it and it's a fresh installation of the cooling system. Right. So we've gone through maximum power. They both support DDR5, support the same amount of memory. I think this one supports by default higher DDR5 frequency just because it's newer, so the 1300K. And in terms of embedded graphics, they both have the Intel UHD graphics 770, so no change there. That's just because Intel is going to release CPUs with ARC graphics starting with the next generation, which I've said it's called Meteor Lake. And going forward from this point, there's no massive difference between the two. It's the same architecture, Intel 7 10 nanometer architecture, so they both have the same architecture. So to summarize it, the 13900 series has more E-cores, more cache, and that's it. And it just boosts to higher frequencies just because this one is the KS. So yeah, I do expect better performance, and it did deliver better than the previous one. And for me, it is worth that money difference of £200-300 I've spent to get the newer CPU installed, and that's all I had to pay to again extend the life of my computer. Right, so now that we've discussed the CPU characteristics, I'm just gonna do a quick unboxing to show you. So in terms of unboxing it does come in a very nice case, for which you have to pay, of course. This is the disadvantage of it. You open it from the back. Yeah. You gotta be careful when you open it, because the wafer-like package, it just falls off. You gotta be careful. And inside you get a beautiful CPU. which is this one, and that's all you get, guys. You've seen how this looks like. In terms of size, it's identical. It's the exact same size. It's the exact same. It just looks the same as well. It's just that, you know, it's a newer generation. It's a refresh. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna discuss about the test bench, or pretty much my computer. So it's my daily driver, so to speak. It's not my gaming PC. It's the PC I do the streaming on. It's the PC that does the encoding. It's the PC that I do all my web surfing. I do all my coding. I do a bit of video editing, not too much. So daily driver, pretty much. I do all the bits on this PC, apart from gaming, because I game on the other one. I use the other one to game and this one to stream. This one can game as well, of course, but that one is just dedicated for it. All right, so in terms of this PC, so I've got the GPU I'm going to be using is the Radeon Sapphire Radeon RX 7900 XT, which I will be doing a review on it. I just didn't have time to finish it off. It's a good one. It's a reference board. I bought it because I use it a bit for video editing, and it's got, what is it? It's got 20 gigs of video memory and quite a decent CPU, and it's actually better than the first better at rasterization games than Nvidia's 3090 series. It's just worse at RTX games, but again, I'm not gonna play games with this one or too many games. I'm just gonna do a bit of editing in daily driver. In terms of motherboard, we got this bad boy here. Oh, tell you what, it's too big, so I can't push it. So it's the Z690 series Asus ROG Maximus Hero. It is a 2021 model. As I said, currently Z790 is the newer version, is the better version, but this one is not bad as well. So again, for 12 and 13 series from Intel, this motherboard is just as good. It's got a beefy VRM. It's got all the bits and bobs, so Wi-Fi 6E, DDR5 support. With BIOS upgrade, it supports the latest DDR5 speeds as well, which I don't need because I'm just using DDR5 6000 at the moment. Full PCIe 5.0, and again, Z790 series. Obviously, it's a bit newer. It's as beefed up as this one in terms of VRM, which is what you pretty much need for a long-term running motherboard. I think it has support for faster RAM, and I don't know. I don't think there's any massive difference. You guys if you know any massive difference between the Z690 motherboards versus Z790 motherboards, if you could put it in the comments below. Yeah, I didn't do too much research into it again. It has all I need. I didn't feel the need to upgrade it. In terms of RAM, it's going to be 32 gig of G.Skill DDR5 Trident Z Neo, I believe, DDR5 6000. What can I say? Water cooled, so the CPU will be water cooled by a custom loop. I'm going to see if I can put a picture with the build somewhere, just because I've never done that. And the GPU is going to be air cooled because, again, I don't do extended gaming sessions on this PC. I might just be doing a bit of benchmarking here and there. It will actually be this PC will actually be used just for streaming and sim racing. And anyways, that's pretty much it. NVMe configurations, all the games will run from either SSD or an NVMe. Power supply is going to be a Corsair 1000 watt power supply. Really decent. It's either gold or platinum one. I think it's gold, this one. No frills there. Total power system consumption is going to be between I think it's 400 something watt. No, so it should be around 550 to 600 watts. That's theoretical power consumption. Let's say 250 from the CPU and 300 from the GPU. So 550 plus 50 watts from all the bits. Let's say 600 watts. So the power supply is well configured to supply the PC. Right. So this is the gaming rig. This is the rig I'm gonna be doing the testing on. So that concludes my talk for now. We're gonna move on to benchmarks, where I'm just gonna put the benchmarks on. I'm gonna go through them bit by bit. I'll put some audio if I think it's worth putting it on, and at the end of it I'm gonna do a conclusion to see if is it really worth upgrading. All right guys, stay tuned. Benchmarks. In terms of gaming, the 3900 KS leads over 12900 KF by 15 to 20%. Pretty much all the titles have the same rule, apart from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where it actually falls behind. I really don't know why, but yep. In terms of productivity, you can see massive differences where the number of cores do matter, such as Cinebench R20. In terms of 3D benchmarks, the difference is not great, and in terms